And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is up, folks? I do apologize. I am a day late on filming the podcast. I was supposed to film it last night on Sunday, but I took a nap and I did not wake up. So your boy needed some rest. So I got some good rest. So that's a good thing. But it's now Monday. I am filming the podcast to make up for last night. But yeah, luckily I'm posting the podcast kind of a week in advance. So still had one go live this morning. So if you haven't yet, go check out the previous episode where we talk about my top 10 go-to protein sources. So that was the episode before. But yeah, today's episode, we're going to talk about something you've probably heard of before, and this is Parkinson's law. So what is Parkinson's law and how does it affect or apply to your fitness journey? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say Parkinson's law is going to apply to not only your fitness journey, but to everything in your life, literally like everything you do. This is a great law to kind of use to your advantage because it can be a good or a bad thing. And that's what we're gonna get into today in the podcast. But you should use it to your advantage, and it can be a good thing. But it can also hurt you in the long run. It can be a bad thing, and that's what we're gonna get into. So, what is Parkinson's law? Parkinson's law is a law that states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So, what does that mean in layman's terms? So, I'll give you an example. If you have a week to complete a task, just one task, it'll take you that whole entire week to complete that task. It will. But if you just have one day for that same exact task, you'll get it done in that one day. So basically what it means is however much time you allow yourself to do something, to complete something, it'll take you that whole time. Like it'll expand to that. So as you can see what we're getting at here, if you want to use it to your advantage, give yourself a shorter deadline. Give yourself less time to do something and you'll find a way to get it done. You'll find a way to make it happen. If you have more time, you're probably going to put it off till later. You're probably going to work on it a little bit at a time, or, I got a couple days. I got time to do that. I'll do it later. You're going to put it off. You got something else is going to come up that you're going to do first. So there's several ways that you can use this to your advantage. But if you're not using it, if you give yourself too much of a timeline, it's going to hurt you. You're not going to get it done when you could have got it done earlier, or when you could have done it a day ago, or you may end up being too late. You may end up, if you give yourself a week, that week may roll around and it's too late. You may be having to cram it in at the last minute, and that's not what you want to do. So how does Parkinson's law apply to your life? First and foremost, time management in life, everything you do. We set deadlines for pretty much everything you do. Work, life, fitness, whatever it is, you're going to have a deadline. And without even realizing it, your productivity, it can stretch or it can shrink to meet those timelines, whatever that may be. It's going to be whatever you're doing at that time. So for example, if you're at work, you got a presentation you got to give. If you give yourself a day, say it's Thursday and you got to do a presentation on Friday, guess what? You're going to get it done. You're going to find a way to get that presentation done because it's crunch time. Like you got to do it by tomorrow. So you'll be able to do it. But if you say, I got a presentation in 2 weeks, let's be honest. You're not about to do that presentation this week. You're not going to prepare. You're going to wait until next week or until the day before to do it because you're probably going to procrastinate. And no, this ain't going to apply to everybody. Not everybody's going to do this, but a lot of people will. So it'll take you 2 weeks to do that same task when you could have done it in a day. And we're all guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. I do it. I know that's why I want to do the podcast about it, because it's something I need to work on myself. But you just got to notice, like, this is what's happening. Like, if you give yourself this time, it's going to happen. Where you see this the most, or where I saw this the most growing up, was in school. So when you had a big project or a paper or something you had to write, good and well, you won't going to be done with that paper or that project until the day before, because you would put it off and you'd wait to do it. And so many people do this, and it's definitely going to lead to procrastination and just overall efficiency. So it's basically Parkinson's law is basically a way to explain why we tend to procrastinate. And procrastinating is huge. Pretty much everybody does this as well. So if we can limit the timelines, we can limit the procrastination, and we can get things done quicker, get things done more efficiently. We can get more stuff done because we're not allowing us to procrastinate so long. So it's going to be a good thing if you can lower the amount of time that you give yourself to complete certain tasks. For example, if you got to clean your home, it may take you an entire day to clean your home by yourself. But just give yourself an hour and you'll be surprised at how efficient you are and how much you get done in that 1 hour. Say you only got 1 hour to clean the whole house. You'd be surprised at how fast you can get that cleaning done because that's the only time you have to work with. So you find a way, you get it done. So that's just a quick little example. So how does this apply to your fitness journey? Well, it's the same exact thing. Same as the way as it applies to anything else. So when it comes to your training, your workout routines, say for example, if you give yourself 2 hours for a workout, you're probably going to take long rest periods. You're probably going to get distracted. You're probably going to play on your phone in between sets. And it's going to take you that whole 2 hours to complete it because that's how much you gave yourself. But if you only had 30 minutes, then you know you got your crunch for time. So you're going to be more focused. You're going to push a little harder. You're going to essentially you can achieve that same workout in 30 minutes that you could do in 2 hours because you're not playing on your phone in between sets. You know you got to leave in 30 minutes. So you're getting in, you're getting out. You're getting in, you're getting it done, and then you're getting out. So that's just one example. So a lot of people think you got to spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym. Well, this is simply not the case. Like you don't have to do that. You can literally get a 30-minute workout in and it'd be just as good as a 2-hour workout if you're focused, if you're pushing hard, if you're not distracted, things like that. So all the people that always say, I don't have time to go to the gym, can't fit it in. Well, you do have time. You will make time for what is important to you. So this is like a little trick you can use to make sure you're getting to the gym, getting your whole workout in, and not making excuses and putting it off until later, procrastinating. Because if you got to go to the gym and work out for 2 hours, that sounds a lot worse than going to the gym and working out for 30 minutes. If you tell yourself, I got to go and got to get a 2-hour workout in, you're going to be dreading it. You're not going to want to go. You're going to end up changing your mind. Somebody else is going to come up and be like, I got to do this instead. But if you say, I only got to work out for 30 minutes, this is a lot easier, a lot more doable. It's not as time consuming, and it's a way for you to be more consistent. So it's a great thing to do. And honestly, I kind of use this to my advantage too because I work out in the mornings before I go to work. So I don't have a choice. Like at a certain time, my workout's got to be done. Like I can be done at this time because I got to go take a shower and go to work. So I don't have a choice. So that's why I can kind of use Parkinson's law to my advantage because I only give myself an hour to an hour and a half to work out, and then I got to go. I don't have no choice. Just because I got to go to work, and that's also something you could do. If you have trouble getting to the gym in the afternoons, I would suggest going in the morning. It's a game changer for sure. It can also apply, Parkinson's law can also apply to your diet and your meal prep. Your meal prep. So as y'all know, I'm a big believer in meal prepping. So if you give yourself a whole day to meal prep, if you give yourself one day to meal prep during the week, it makes it easier because you can get it all done in that one day. Like I do it on Sunday. I meal prep all my meals for the week on Sunday. So I make sure I do it and I get it done. Also, it comes with the time. Like if you give yourself all day Sunday to do it, you're going to wait until the last minute on Sunday to do it. Don't do that. Go ahead and when you wake up in the morning, first thing, after you get home from church or whatever you do in the morning, if you go work out on Sunday, as soon as you get home, say, I'm going to go ahead and meal prep now. I'm going to get it over with. And literally, it'll take you an hour, maybe 2 hours to meal prep. I meal prep 2 meals a day for myself. And sometimes I meal prep for my wife. And at most, it'll take me 2 hours. That's it. So if you give yourself a 2-hour time frame, you'll get a whole week's worth of meals done in that 1 2-hour window. But if you wake up and say, I'm gonna meal prep today, but I got all day to do it, well, guess what? You're gonna be it's gonna be 7, 8 o'clock at night. You're gonna be, I still hadn't meal prepped, or I'm just now starting on my meal prep. Then you're gonna be up late, and it's gonna get you off your flow. So you got to use this to your advantage. Give yourself a window to do a specific task. And honestly, you'd be surprised at what you can get done in a shorter amount of time than you think. Because a lot of people think, this one task is going to take me 5 hours to do it. Well, if that's the case, only give yourself 2 hours to do it. Like challenge yourself. Try to push yourself. Say, all right, I'm going to go for the next 2 hours. I'm gonna work on this one task as strictly as I can. No distractions. Put my phone down or whatever you got to do to not be distracted. And what I like to do is I actually like to listen to a podcast or something. I'll throw my earphones in, turn a podcast on, and then I'll get in the zone of whatever I'm doing. If I'm cleaning the house, doing dishes, doing laundry, whatever it is, I'll throw my podcast on and I'll listen to it and I'll just zone out and do it and get it done. And it's super simple. So yeah, I challenge yourself to do either your workout or your meal prep, whatever it is for your fitness. Give yourself a limited window to do it, and you'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish. So again, if you think you got to go to the gym for 2 hours, give yourself 30 minutes, give yourself an hour, and go knock it out undistracted and get it done. And then that way you ain't got to complain about not having time anymore. So how can you use Parkinson's law to overcome challenges? Set intentional deadlines. So recognize when you're giving yourself too much time and create tighter deadlines to boost your efficiency. So like this is like what I just mentioned. If you think something's going to take you an hour to do, only give yourself 30 minutes. Like challenge yourself. But it also got to be reasonable. You can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna write an entire paper in 30 minutes." Like that's probably not going to happen. You can make sure it's reasonable for the task that you're trying to do. It depends on what you're trying to do. For example, if you're trying to get a workout in, don't give yourself 10 minutes. I mean, you're not going to get a whole workout in 10 minutes. Yeah, you can get a good little workout in 10 minutes, but you're not going to get a whole workout in if that's what you're trying to do. So be realistic, but also challenge yourself a little bit. Don't give yourself too much time. Because like I said, Parkinson's law, if you give yourself 2 hours workout, you're going to take up that whole entire 2 hours. You're going to be at the gym that whole entire time. It's just going to happen. I mean, 99% of the time it's probably going to happen. You're not going to leave in 30 minutes if you gave yourself 2 hours. So just challenge yourself, set a shorter amount of time to get it done, and you'll be surprised at what you can get done. If you're struggling with getting back into a workout routine, literally just commit to a 20, 30-minute workout instead of an hour. Don't give yourself the whole hour. Just say, I'm going to go in there 20 minutes and I'm going to knock it out as much as I can. And then also you can apply this to your goals. Whatever goals you have in life, whether that's work, career, relationship, set shorter deadlines for long-term goals. And this will force focus and reduce procrastination. So for example, if you want to run a marathon in 6 months, well, that's kind of a long time period. So what you should do, and you need the whole 6 months, what you should do is create interim goals every month. So treat each month like a deadline to maintain momentum and make sure you're making consistent progress towards that larger goal. So each month you should be hitting a certain goal. Say by the end of this month, I need to be able to run 10 miles without stopping. By the end of next month, I need to be able to run 15 miles without stopping. And then the next month, 20 miles without stopping. You know what I'm saying? You got to set those interim milestone goals. Make that deadline shorter. Because if you see that whole 6-month deadline, you see that big time frame, it's going to take you that whole 6 months to be able to run a marathon. Like, let's just be honest. But if you give yourself those interim goals each month, you can give yourself a target to hit, and it's a little bit more achievable, and it helps you not procrastinate as much. So that's how you can apply it to your goals, whether that be a presentation you have at work, something you're trying to work on in your relationship, fitness goals, whatever. So just everyday life, Parkinson's law, try to set shorter deadlines for better focus. This is going to help keep you from procrastinating. And it could be simple tasks like cleaning, organizing, social media breaks, spending time with your spouse, whatever that may be. It's also going to increase productivity at work. So if a task feels overwhelming, set you a tighter deadline, get a jump start on that activity. And this will help make you more productive, and it's going to reduce the time that you spend overthinking. Like a lot of people overthink certain things. Just give yourself a short deadline and go after it and get it. See how much you can get done. And hey, if you don't get it done in that time, well, guess what? You still got more time to do it because you set at the beginning, you set a shorter deadline than you needed. So technically, you still have extra time to work on it. So set you another, say you want to do something for 30 minutes. Well, guess what? After 30 minutes, if you don't get that done, guess what? Give yourself another 30 minutes. Say 30 minutes, I'm going to be done with this. I'm going to finish it. And then Parkinson's law can also apply to personal relationships and being more present. So set specific times to focus on family or friends, and this will encourage you to be more intentional in those moments. So for example, me and my wife, we like to do no phones during dinner so that we can spend that time together and we can make that time intentional. So that's kind of like what we do to be more present in the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much Parkinson's law in a nutshell. It can be an effective tool in pretty much everything, not just your fitness journey, but I think it definitely applies to your fitness journey because all these like big goals that we have, we give ourselves a deadline, but I think a lot of times we underestimate what we can do. We underestimate how quick you can do it. And giving yourself a long deadline, it gives you too much time to procrastinate. You could cut that time in half most of the time if you would just stay focused on the goal and actually do it when you're supposed to do it and not put it off till later. So, but also at the same time, you got to be realistic. Like you can't say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 3 months because you're probably not going to do it. It's kind of like the example we use with the marathon. If you want to lose 100 pounds in a year, break it down month to month. Say, I want to lose 10 pounds this month. And that should be your goal that month. And give yourself that shorter month timeline to hit that 10 goals. Because if you give yourself 3 months to lose 10 pounds, well, guess what? It's going to take you that whole 3 months. You're going to put it off. You're going to eat some junk food. You're going to do whatever to get you off track. But if you only have a month, then you're going to do what you got to do to get it done in that month, because you have a shorter timeline to hit that goal. So that's how it can affect you in your fitness journey. If you're trying to train for a race, don't think, oh, I need to be ready by race day. Think you need to be ready for that race like a month in advance. You need to be ready ahead of time, so that way you can be more prepared and you're ready going into it. So there's definitely, this law definitely applies to fitness journey, but also every aspect of your life. So next time you set a goal, next time you have something you got to get done, a task, something you got to do for work, something you got to do for your fitness journey, apply this law. So think about how you can use this law to achieve that goal, achieve that, or get done with that task earlier or sooner. That way you're not putting it off until later, and that way you can get other things done. If you complete one task, then that's great, because guess what? Now you can move on to the next task. It's not going to take you that much longer. You can be more efficient by using this law to your advantage. So I challenge you this week, use this law on whatever it is that you got going on this week. Say if you got a presentation to do on Friday, go ahead and knock it out by tomorrow. Like, say, I'm going to be done with this presentation by tomorrow. Like, give yourself a shorter deadline. You need to be done. And then that way you can read over it, you can prepare for it better, and you're not crunched for time. You're not panicking last minute trying to throw things together. So I challenge yourself, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve this week, give yourself a day to do it. Give yourself 30 minutes to work out, if that's what it is. So use this law to your advantage, and it will help you out, be more efficient, be more productive. And it can also hurt you. So like I said, if you give yourself super long time or too much time to complete something, it's probably gonna take the whole timeline. So just be aware. I mean, it's not always bad to give yourself a timeline to do things. Like if you need 2 weeks to do something, that's okay. But just be aware that it's going to take you that whole 2 weeks to do it. Let's just be honest. Like, it's going to. That's just kind of how life works sometimes. But yeah, I challenge y'all to do something with Parkinson's law this week. Apply it to one area of your life, and then you can kind of manipulate it and use it to your advantage. And you'll see how it's kind of actually true. You don't really realize it because you don't think about it. But if you use it and you try it, then you're like, okay, this actually works. Like it's for real. But obviously, if you got to actually stick to that deadline. If you say, oh, I got to be done with this task by tomorrow, but I really don't need to be done with it by Friday. Well, then you're not really applying the law. You're not really using it to your advantage. It's still going to take the whole week to do it. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Use this law to your advantage. Don't let it take advantage of you. And that's it. Y'all have a great day. Peace, love, protein. We out.